Australia and South Africa. Very tight pool at the moment. Australia now on 28 points, South Africa on 26 points. So the winner of this game will finish in second spot in the pool. Third spot in the pool also qualifies to get through to the quarter-final. Over on the back pitch, we have Singapore up against USA, and Singapore strong favourites for that game. So the Aussies and the South Africans will know that whoever wins, well, basically it's a winner-takes-all game here today. If they lose, they'll be lucky to get through, put it that way. But it could all come down to net run rate with bonus points, but we'll come to that later, depending on how this game pans out. Here in the commentary box with me, we have Dan Stone from South Africa. He'll be joining me shortly, the South African team manager. Beautiful morning here at Chester Boughton Court. Bit of rain around yesterday, which has led to this game being rescheduled for today. Still managed to get through enough of the games though, so these are the last two games in the pool stages before we have the finals day tomorrow and Sunday, which is lining up to be a cracking day. So, Dan Stone, welcome.
Thanks, Robbo. It's an honour to be here, and looking forward to a cracking game today, and can't wait to see how the boys get on. Big tournament, sort of dawn of professional LMS, and looking forward to see how the game just keeps on developing and developing and developing.
So big news for the two teams today. Not quite news, they were never going to be able to play on Saturday, but neither of the internationals playing today given the reschedulement. So no Nick Pelfas or no Marcus North. How's Nick fitted in with the guys, and how do you think they'll cope with his loss for the game today?
Nick was a great mentor. He took each player individually aside and gave them a few tips. So he is a big loss, and he did contribute with the bat and with the keeping gloves in the last game. But I think the boys will be okay. They're amped, and I think the Aussie boys will be just fine without Marcus. But yeah, two big losses.
So who would be your players to look out for in the South African lineup today? Who are your big match players that you think this is going to come down to?
So look, I think from an experience point of view, Vaughan van Berkel, previously #1 bowler in the world in LMS rankings, he took a year off, but I think he's got a fantastic change-up and a great batsman. And then of course Dalton, the captain, he's an X-factor player. And he's good with the ball, good with the bat, and as LMS viewers have seen, brilliant in the field. So I think that's a strength of the South Africans. We're very good in the field.
And then for the Australians, Matt Angus sits out today. So Puri Srinivasan playing, Ziad Abbas, Marty Henderson, Sam Lang, Nathan Tyrrell, Brodie Dwyer. Young Jake O'Connell, he's the pick-out player for me there. Dan Stone, he's been a terrific bowler this tournament, but he has picked up a bit of a back strain, which could come into play. He's not able to bowl at full pace, which will be disappointing for him in such a big game.
I think the Aussies have looked very strong throughout the whole tournament, and I think today's going to be a cracker. Looking forward to see some good, solid LMS cricket played. The Aussie boys are amped. Spoke to a few of them this morning, and they're very keen for the game. So I think it's going to be an epic encounter.
Absolutely, the two most experienced sides in this tournament. Huge number of caps, huge number of runs and wickets across these two sides. Very experienced outfits. So all these guys love their LMS, and this will be the pinnacle of their LMS career so far for sure. Playing out here in the beautiful conditions. Winner takes all match effectively, assuming that the Singapore USA game on the back pitch goes according to plan. So we're just about to start with Australia fielding first, and young Jake O'Connell, the 17-year-old, opening the bowling. Tell us a bit about the two openers coming out here, Dan.
So we've got Wynand Venter, he's keeper batsman, and Martin van Wyk, both very destructive batsmen in their own rights. Both prolific LMS players, more than 150 is between the both of them in LMS, so looking forward to two great innings.
Absolutely, it's a crucial opening partnership for South Africa. It's been a decent opening partnership this tournament, and something that the South African team relies on. We have seen Jake O'Connell get some early wickets during this tournament, so can see he's, well, not on your camera, but he's doing a lot of back stretches before bowling, so be interesting to see what kind of pace this first ball comes out at.
Knockout cricket.
Absolutely, this is the best we can hope for in this situation. So coming up for the first ball, young Jake O'Connell.
Great shot, 5 Venant. And spilt for 4 runs.
Big moment there early on. Puri Srinivasan out in the deep. Would have been looking to stop that, to keep it, well, not let the pressure go on the first ball. So a disappointing start there from the Australians. Bit of a loopy first delivery from Jake O'Connell. Jake O'Connell coming up for the second ball. There's the ball there from O'Connell. Over on the back pitch, USA have opened up with the bat against Singapore. Shivnarine Chanderpaul batting for the US. So we'll be focusing on this game here, but keep an eye on the live scores, lastmanstands.com/live-scores to see how Chanderpaul gets on.
Had the privilege of playing against Chanderpaul in the Masters game, friendly with the USA, and great ambassador for the game. And it's a privilege for LMS to have him playing with us.
Absolutely unbelievable stuff to have a player with the pedigree of Chanderpaul playing in this tournament. Almost 12,000 test runs, and all the ambassadors have been terrific throughout the week, haven't they, Dan? That's real standout players on the pitch and then off the pitch, just socialising with everyone, helping them out in the nets. It's been fantastic to see.
Completely agree. I think we've been super privileged as LMS players to meet these professionals and take the same fields and play against them and play with them. So LMS is definitely doing great things for amateur cricket.
So we go just out into the offside, and quick running there from the South Africans, showing their intent early. Well run too there. So just going back over the standings again for those of you joining us late. Crucial game here. Australia currently in second spot, South Africa in third spot on 28 and 26 points respectively. But Singapore just behind them, 24 points. So Singapore, you'd be expecting to get a big win there over USA. So this is effectively a winner-takes-all game.
Pressure's right on. Some great bowling there. I think the South Africans know it's knockout cricket. Every game they play now will be knockout cricket. So spent the last 24 hours getting their minds right and thinking a lot about the game. And I think any Australia-South African game, no matter what the format is always a big game. So
absolutely great rivalry between these two great sporting nations. Fantastic to see the two of them play each other here in England in Last Man Stands. One of the biggest games we've had in Last Man Stands yet, and good first over there from young Jake, bouncing back from the first ball, which went for 4 and probably should have just been 2. Bounces back just to go for 7 off the first over. So now we have the next over to be bowled by Marty Henderson.
Great comeback, and looking forward to seeing Marty bowl.
Huge experience again for Marty Henderson, almost 400 Last Man Stands wickets. Unbelievable record, coupled with 13,000 LMS runs. So the Queenslander, one of the most experienced LMS players in this tournament.
He was one of your first players that qualified, if I'm correct.
He is. He qualified at the Australian Nationals last November along with his teammate Brodie Dwyer. He's playing today. And also young Jake O'Connell, who we saw bowl the first over. Good fielding there from Marty Henderson, just a dot ball there.
Great first delivery there. Venant reaching a little bit, getting the pace of the pitch.
Good shot there from Venter. Goes out over extra cover in the air, but he knew the gap was there, and that shows his intent. So that's 2 boundaries through the extra cover region for Venter. So solid start from him.
Great start. I've had the privilege of playing Last Man Stands for the last 10 years, and in Joburg, LMS, we play against Van and Venter and Martin every week. So 2 great players.
Good comeback there from Marty Henderson. Gives a bit of a stare to the batsman. It's going to be a lot of intensity in this game between these two sides. A lot of competitive players on both teams. Through to the keeper there.
Great bowling.
Great stuff here from Marty Henderson. He's gone for one boundary this over, but solid start.
3 dot balls and a boundary. That's good bowling.
Behind the stumps, we've got Sam Lang for Australia in this game, the captain. Excellent ball there from Marty Henderson to end the over. So great over there. Just the one boundary offered in 4 dot balls. So impressive stuff from Marty Henderson there, Dan.
I think you can see it's knockout cricket. Batsmen are being a little bit more speculative and not just going for everything. And I think we're going to see a cracking game today.
So young Jake O'Connell back on. Mentioned it several times this tournament already, but he picked up the Australian Championships Player of the Tournament at the tender age of 16 last year. So a real impressive young talent coming through. He's been playing last man stand since the age of 13. Over 4,000 runs and 100 wickets already. Impressive stats for a teenager.
That is good going for his age. I must say that from an LMS perspective, that's what we do. Doing so well is getting youngsters involved in the game. Oh, great shot from Martin.
Solid stuff there from Van Wyk. So powerfully hit, beats long on. Marty Henderson down at long on there. So solid shot there. It's a pretty even start so far. 15 after 2.1 overs.
As soon as you get anything down the hill on this pitch, it just runs. So that was great shots. Great bowling there from the youngster.
Good comeback. Just bunts it out to points. He comes in just for the single there. Good comeback from Jake O'Connell. So 3 boundaries so far in the 15 runs.
Here we are, Jakey boy, come on.
This has been good tight bowling so far.
Excellent shot there.
Just for 1 run.
Down to Puri Srinivasan at long off. Single there. Powerfully hit though. Such quick outfields as well here this week, and beautifully tended outfield here at Chester Boughton Hall, so you really get value for money for your shots. Anything in the gap incredibly hard to stop.
I must say the facilities here have been absolutely fantastic, so big thanks to Boughton.
So deep mid-wicket comes in quickly. They'll try and go back for 2, but excellent stuff there from Ziad Abbas in the deep. Really attacked that ball and restricted the South Africans to a single there.
Great fielding.
Last ball of the over coming up here from Jake O'Connell. That's out to point, so a single to end the over. So another decent over there from young Jake. 2 overs, none for 15 so far. South Africa move on to 19 for no loss after 3 overs.
Come here. Get away from her.
Yeah, just 8 off that over. So ticking the scoreboard along, being a little bit more speculative. So it means a lot today. So let's see how the SA boys go. Keep on batting the way they are. So
a message from Cheryl Kane here about switching over to Singapore versus USA coverage. We will be flicking over now and then just to have a look at Chandapur batting, so keep watching for that. So Marty Henderson, almost 400 wickets, bowling the 4th over for Australia now. Brodie Dwyer comes in quickly in the deep from extra cover and again just restricts the South Africans to a single there.
Just a single there.
Good intensity from the Australians so far following that early misfield from Puri Srinivasan. Very important to cut off these 2s.
So one of the interesting things to know about Van Venter is he's actually a good singer.
Darren O'Connell chips in with "There is something wrong, Jake." There certainly is. Darren, Jake's father, he's got a sore back which is troubling him. He damaged it against the USA, so it's definitely affecting him in there. Sorry, Dan, I interrupted you there.
No, just a little bit of background on Van Hunt. Been playing LMS for close to 8 years and quite a good lyricist. Marty's preventing 2 runs there.
There's a lot of off-field talent in the LMS ranks, that's for sure. David O'Connor joining us, former world #1 ranked batsman from several years ago. Good to have you watching, Doc. So 2 Docs chipping in with commentary there. Darren O'Connell, Jake's father, and David O'Connor. Welcome to both.
Just a single there.
Again, if you want to watch the updates from the Singapore versus USA game with Shivnarine Chanderpaul batting, go to lastmanstands.com/live-scores and you'll be able to find the games on there. Otherwise, if you look at the Facebook feed, there's a couple of comments there. And
that is a fantastic shot by Martin van Wyk.
Brilliant stuff there, straight down the ground. Beautiful shot, really putting the pressure there on Marty Henderson, who disappointed with that, but not much you can do against a shot of that quality. Interesting to see him really attack Marty Henderson there, Dan. Took a couple of steps down the wicket and then launched him back over his head.
Martin is a prolific batsman. I've seen him hit many a 6, but that was a great shot.
So that moves Martin van Wyk on to 15 off 8 balls now. 1-4 and 1-6 down the other end. Van Venter, 13 off 12 balls with 2 boundaries. So this is turning into a very solid start here from the South Africans. 28 after 4 overs, and we've got our first bowling change happening out there. And if we're looking at the back pitch now, this is Singapore versus the USA. Shivnarine Chanderpaul at the crease, the USA. Back to Hayden Page bowling his first delivery.
Just on leg side.
Sam Lang couldn't quite get there. That was excellent fielding there in the deep.
Just trickled over for 4 runs.
Great effort there from Nathan Tyrrell. Real good effort on the boundary, but first one runs away for 4. So Hayden Page plays in the Canberra Leagues of Last Man Stands. He hasn't normally bowled this early in a game in this tournament, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes here with a relatively new ball.
Just a loosener in the first delivery there. And great follow-up delivery.
There. Just guided down to third man. Good delivery from Page, but Bats knew there was a huge gap there with the third man round on the 45. Couldn't get there with the pace of that quick outfield here.
I think a common standard in international LMS strike rates of 150 and above is what we're looking for. So Van Hunt's starting to pick up his strike rates, and Martin's at over 150.
Here we go. So that goes out to Brody Dwyer at cover. Is that Brody, or is there a fielding change we got there? Yes, still Brody Dwyer out there at cover. But 4 leg byes off the first delivery, then a 4 down to third man. So the boundary's coming here for South Africa, putting the pressure on the Australians. They're going very well here, I think, Dan.
Solid opening stand. Just need to keep up the good work.
Bowling there from Hayden Page. Excellent stuff, and that's a direct hit. And he's got him. That's a fantastic piece of fielding there from Hayden Page, and you can see how much it means to the big man. Excellent stuff. Did so well to get there so quickly. Pick up and throw. That's a massive wicket there for the Australians. Martin van Wyk was going exceptionally well there.
Great fielding from the Aussies. Big loss for South Africans.
Let's have another look at this here, Dan. Brilliant stuff from Hayden Page. Van Wyk attacking again. Thought there was definitely a single there, sent back by Venter, and then just such a quick arm. Excellent stuff.
It needed to be a direct hit.
Very risky run there, and Hayden Page was straight on it. Beautiful throw, dive for it, and just well out there, Van Wyk with a direct hit. Excellent stuff, just brilliant cricket there from Hayden Page. That's top stuff.
Great fielding.
There you go. Needed something to change the momentum, I feel, for Australia. South Africa were really looking good. Van Wyk going down the wicket and attacking the Australian bowlers, forcing the early bowling change. So needed something special to change the flow. Hayden Page, the only Indigenous player in the Australian side, has produced that something special.
So new batsman in is Webster Jr.
So tell us a bit about Webster.
So he's the younger brother of the captain Dalton, also over 250 LMS games, and quite a prolific batsman in Joburg Premier League.
Two very impressive young men, the Webster brothers. Fielding there in Australia, third man, so pressure back on the South Africans here. Excellent stuff there from Hayden Page. After the first two deliveries of the over, went for 4 leg byes and then a 4 down to third man. Really bounced back with that excellent bit of fielding, and now the score at 38 for 1 after 5 overs. So pretty even start so far, Dan. What are your thoughts?
I think it's nicely poised. Both teams are playing hard, and with that loss of that first wicket, things are quite even at the moment. 38 after 5.
Good to see Nick Pothas watching the game as well and encouraging his South African team. Welcome to Nick. Great to have you involved in this tournament.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks for the support. Edge of the
Edge quickly runs away down to third man on the fast outfield. So Nick, have you got any advice for your South African lads? You've been helping them out a lot the last couple of days. For those of you that don't know Nick Pothas, he's certainly one of the top coaches in the world at the moment, quite possibly the next South African cricket coach. Brilliant keeper batsman. So Nick, look forward to hearing your thoughts and advice.
Would be a privilege. Definitely one of the top coaches in the world and a great professional cricketer in his own right.
Full delivery there from Marty Henderson, and it goes out to extra cover. Good fielding there and a bit of nerves in the South African ranks.
And that is
not
not
out. Another excellent throw in the deep there from young Jake O'Connell, who has an excellent arm.
Aussie boys fielding spectacularly, directly over the stumps. Great fielding there.
Showing their intent there with a good throw in. A few nerves in the South African lineup about their running now, following that direct hit, and another excellent throw there from Jake O'Connell. So good stuff there from the Australians. Good ball there from Marty Henderson.
Great bowling from Marty Henderson there.
Centre stump, middle stump, just going cartwheeling there. It was a full delivery. It looked like it could have been a slightly slower ball, but clever stuff from Marty. Brodie Dwyer, a little dance to celebrate. All the Australians coming in. I know how much that means, that wicket there. The other opener, Varnon Venter, goes 18 off 16 balls, and that's a huge wicket there, Dan, given the context of this South African lineup during the tournament and the importance of their opening batting partnership.
Absolutely, they've been a solid opening stand the whole sort of tournament, and both being in the hut, that's a massive boost for Australia.
Huge stuff there for the Aussies. Great team camaraderie for both of these sides, and if we just look at that delivery, Venter was 18 off 15 before that ball, so had his eye fairly set, looking to put the pressure back on the Australians with the pressure that was building, and just a bit ambitious there to the straight full ball.
I think it was a great delivery, a little bit of inducker, taking the middle stump, so great delivery.
So Dan, next batsman in, please inform our viewers a bit about Nelson.
So James Nelson plays for Tanks Plumbing, number 2 side in the world. Prolific hitter. Strike rate well over 200 in local Joburg and Pretoria Prem divisions. So looking forward to see how he gets on today.
So first delivery here for Nelson from the experienced Marty Henderson. He'll be buoyed by that early wicket. Interesting side story about Marty. He didn't get the message going around on WhatsApp last night about the rearranged start time. Oh, what a delivery there from Marty Henderson first up, and a bit of chat going through as well from the competitive Henderson. So Marty thought that the game start time was at 7:45 this morning, Dan, so 6:15 was around banging on all the other Australian players' doors, waking them all up early, not realising that the game was actually at 9:30 instead of 7:45.
I had a conversation with Marty early in the week, and he said this is the game he's been looking forward to. So he's been rearing to go for the whole week. So
absolutely, very competitive man, Marty Henderson, and you can see how much this game means to him. Excellent over there from Henderson, and the pressure really building from the Australians here. Hayden Page coming back on for his second over after a productive first over where he pulled out that excellent run out, which was really a momentum shifter, Dan.
Absolutely. So James sort of been struggling with a slight injury the whole week. He hurt his hand earlier in the week, and he's been struggling to grip the bat. So hopefully it's healed up enough for him to get that bat speed going again. Oh, great delivery there.
Hayden Page. Excellent delivery outside the off stump, so pressure building a little bit for the South Africans. Last 4 balls, last 5 balls, in fact, 1 run off them and the clean bowled wicket.
Great bowling by the Aussies, keeping the pressure up. Trying to get another wicket.
Hayden Page in for the delivery of the second over. Again, you can see the pressure, and the South Africans are feeling it, trying to go for the big shots just to relieve a bit of pressure. Yeah,
I think the pressure's starting to build up.
We've had the first wicket in the USA innings on the back pitch. Jaladua gone for 11, the opener. Shivnarine Chanderpaul still in, not out on 15. So the US currently on 31 after 5.3 overs. So solid start there from Singapore, and that's a brilliant cut shot out to the deep there. Pace, the outfield beats Brodie Dwyer at extra cover. Excellent stuff there from Webster, and that certainly relieves a bit of the pressure that was building there. So much value for money for your shots here with this impeccable outfield. So this is Cheshire's home ground. Brilliant facilities, take care of it so well. They've got Premier League cricket on here today as well, following last man stand, so it's all in excellent condition.
Very fortunate as LMS players to be playing on a ground like this. Definitely one of the best cricket grounds in the UK, so very, very privileged.
It's good to see with the 2 sides today. It seems slightly unfair if one of the 2 internationals was actually available for this rearranged game today, so both teams matched up without their international players today. Ball goes high in the air. Sammy Lang coming underneath. Goes for the dive. Just beats him by about a yard there. When that went up, I thought that was a wicket there from our angle.
Bit of a off the top edge of the toe.
Good stuff there from Hayden Page, so that will buoy him. A bit more confidence there. So signals the end of the over, 47 for 2 after 7 overs. Doug Webster now 10 off 8 deliveries. James Nelson yet to score off 2 deliveries.
Seems like the pitch is holding up a little bit.
So on the back pitch, another tight over there from the Singapore team against the USA. USA now 34 for 1 after 6 overs with Shivnarine Chanderpaul still unbeaten at the crease. Singapore looking odds on to win that game and win it big because it's a small backfield, so they're really restricting them well there.
They've had excellent field placings the whole tournament, and quite a professional unit. Singapore definitely representing.
There we go. So just a single out there to well, wideish third man back behind point. That shows a bit of the pressure there, I think, Dan. You know, earlier in the innings, I think that would have been 2, but a bit of nerves over that run out and the wickets. A bit more cautious there from South Africa.
Absolutely, trying to consolidate. Oh, great shot there.
Great stuff from Marty. Well,
great fielding on the boundary.
Great ball again from Marty Henderson, I think, there, Dan. He's really making the batsmen work for all of their runs.
See they bowling him out?
They are indeed. So far, he's got figures of 1 for 20 from 3.2 overs. So tight spell here from Henderson, and that one tries to go towards mid-wicket, and that was risky. With Ziad Abbas out there at mid-wicket. Luckily for the batsman, he didn't really get hold of it.
And that's the 50 up.
50 for South Africa, 2 wickets down in the 8th over. This stage, you'd say Australia on top, but a lot of batting to come in the South African side.
Marty is really bowling well.
Guided down to Puri Srinivasan there at a wide third man. for another single. So they'll be aware that this is Marty Henderson's last ball here, Dan. So I'll be very surprised to see an attacking shot here, given the context of the game. Last ball of Marty's spell.
Yeah, I think they'll just try and see him off. What a spell. Great bowling.
And they do indeed. Defensive play to end the over, and a fantastic spell there from Marty Henderson. Brilliant stuff from him.
Great forward defensive there from James Nelson.
Australia's most experienced player, along with Sam Lang, and showing all of his class there. He was playing at the World Championships in Cape Town in December as well, Dan, that you also were at.
Yeah, one of the standout players of the tournament, and you can just see he's played tons and tons of LMS.
So a brilliant spell from Marty Henderson comes to an end. 4 overs, 1 for 22 from the opener, and welcome to a couple of other major LMS players, Benny Miller and Ben Gorham watching. Ben Gorham, a veteran of World Championships and multiple nationals, and that's a brilliant shot there. Mid-wicket was in with Ziad Abbas trying to keep the pressure on. Batsman knew it, just belted it out there.
Great
for
shot
a much
from
needed
Dougie Webster.
boundary.
Just a little bit of pressure release there.
So how old is young Doug Webster?
Doug is the ripe old age of 23. Had the privilege of facing him when he was 19.
How did you fare there?
First ball, I'll never forget it. He bounced me. But he, excellent cricketer, played many a good game against him.
Webster a bit more careful with that one, knows that he did the damage with the previous shot.
Very good cricket there. The boundary and then rotating the strike.
Webster moves on to 17 off 12 deliveries. We're in the 9th over now. Score on 56 now. What do you say a par score would be here on this pitch today with these conditions?
Great delivery there. I think if they can get to 70 after 10, that would be a good halfway point. But I think par score in today's pitch is around 160. So you don't want to leave yourself too much in the last 10. So try and get to 70 and maybe 90 in the last 10.
Hayden Page continuing. Good ball outside off stump through to Sam Lang, the keeper and the captain. So young Doug Webster going well here, 17 off 12 balls. Over on the back pitch in the USA versus Singapore game, which is also crucial in the context of this game, with Singapore trying to leapfrog either Australia or South Africa. And now USA are on 45 for 1 after 7.1 overs. Shivnarine Chanderpaul still at the crease with 24 off 15 balls. He's hit his first 6 now, Chanderpaul. So they'll be looking for him to add a few quickish runs there on a small pitch. That really the par score on that pitch is more like 200, isn't it, Dan?
Yeah, I've been playing for the Masters team and on that pitch the whole week, and sort of 200, 180 minimum is sort of the score there. So Singapore again, just great field placings, good bowling. I think they're a bit of a dark horse in this tournament.
Interesting shot there that we just saw a replay of from James Nelson, and a kind of shot that really shows that he's feeling the pressure there. That was a good delivery outside off stump that, with all the pace of this outfield, he should be looking to cut that and use the pace down there, but obviously feeling the run rate pressure trying to go across the line.
James has been sort of struggling with his form a little bit lately, but he's such a classy player. He will come right and he can accelerate the innings quite quickly once his eyes in. So I think just understanding the situation of the game and playing the situation. So Australia are really just bowling well and keeping the pressure up.
For me, this is a huge bowling change here, Dan. So we've got a shift from the Aussies going to the spin of Nathan Tyrrell, left arm orthodox.
Great little ball there, cramping up Doug Webster.
Good ball for him to start, and so they're bowling Nathan first up from the end with a bigger boundary. We're playing on one of the side wickets here today. So to the right-hander on the offside is the small boundary.
That was a bye. Oh,
Good
another
start.
great delivery.
We saw some prodigious turn from Nathan Tyrrell earlier in the tournament, so how do the South Africans generally play spin?
Well, we're more used to the sort of bouncier wickets in SA, so we have some great spinners. I think we played pretty decently.
Watchfully played there by James Nelson, who moves on to 3 off 10 deliveries, so he'll be looking for that ball to get him going. Bit of pressure building. Very important though for South Africa not to lose another wicket in the next over or two.
Yeah, if we can get to around 70, maybe 65. Oh, great delivery. I think they're just piling on the pressure.
Be hard push for 70 now, so 59 runs
Yeah.
with one ball before the turn. Pressure on for the South Africans here. We are playing on the big pitch though here today, and you did say that. Well, let's just watch this delivery first from Nathan Tyrrell. Great bowling there from Nathan Tyrrell. His first over just going for 3 runs. First over his spin in the match. And we were talking about par scores earlier. 160 was picked by Dan as the par score, which generally I'd agree with, but I think in the context of a game like this with so much pressure and so much riding on it, I think if Australia are chasing anything over 145, it will send a few nerves through the ranks. Guys will play differently.
Yeah, it is knockout cricket, but I think
if we just quickly switch to the backfield, sorry Dan, just during the switch over at the halfway point, we can see Shivnarine Chanderpaul there at the crease for the USA against Singapore. Incredible to have Shivnarine Chanderpaul playing in this tournament here. It's very important for him to go on here for the US.
Manpreet Singh.
He's now on 27 off 19 balls. I got 27 off 20. He's in with Kasaka Mahesh, who's on 16 off 14 deliveries. USA currently 54 for 1 off 8.4 overs, so well below the required run rate for that small pitch over there. So Singapore looking well on top. Great delivery there from Puri Srinivasan. First delivery from Puri from Sydney. Finds his length well early. So the context of that other game is Singapore need maximum points to guarantee themselves a spot in the semi-finals, which they pretty much look odds on for at the moment, which really puts the pressure on these two teams to win this game.
Absolutely. And great shot there from James Nelson. Late cuts.
Very important there from James Nelson. He was 4 off 12 for that delivery. Lovely late cut to the vacant region with a wide-ish third man, but Hayden Page has now been shifted around much more fine to cut that off.
I think you'll see James going a little bit harder now in the final 10.
Goes for late cut again. Puri Srinivasan gets it through to the keeper. Could just hear a shout of frustration there from James Nelson. So does seem to be feeling the pressure a bit out there, and he's faced enough balls now that he'll be looking to, as you say, to kick on and get a few boundaries from here.
Yeah, I think he's gonna go large. I think his eyes in, and he's faced 14 deliveries, so I think he'll try and kick on now.
So Srinivasan's 4th delivery. 2 dot balls and a boundary so far in his first over. Good shot there.
Great shot from Nelson. 2 there.
Good fielding by big Ziad Abbas out in the deep. So Sydney player throws into another Sydney player.
I must say, compliment both teams. They're both brilliant fielding units. Australia fielded spectacularly today. Definitely bringing their A games.
We did see
Great shot
some,
there from James Nelson.
Much needed boundary from Nelson to relieve the pressure a bit more on him. So he now moves to 14 off 16 balls. So much healthier strike rate now this over from Nelson. Brings to an end the over. So 10 runs off it, all to James Nelson.
That's 70 off 11.
Interesting comment here from Vaughan Oldham. Dan Stone, the South Africans are batting like donuts, all edges, no middle. What can you tell us about Vaughan Oldham?
Well, on this pitch here, I think the guys are trying to play the late cuts. There's lots of value for money on this field, so cutting down the hill. So anything a metre side of the fielder, and it's 4 runs. So playing Aussies are just bowling well. So we just got to play the situation. Great shot there again.
Beautiful
2 runs
cut
there.
shot. Hayden Page was fielding a bit finer, so they'll get the 2. Nathan Tyrrell on for his 2nd over. Left arm orthodox spin. Nathan Tyrrell from Wollongong on the south coast of New South Wales plays with the Rock Lobsters, who are the current Australian national champions. Watchful play from the batsman there. Tyrrell getting a bit of turn there. Now he's bowling with the short leg side boundary, so this will be a huge temptation for the right-handed batsman. It's relatively short out there, probably about 65 metres, so big appeal there from the Australians. Fantastic stuff. Great wicket keeping.
Stumped.
Good stuff there from Sam Lang. He didn't start the tournament as a wicket keeper, but really showing his value with the gloves. He's a great all-round cricketer, Sam Lang, the Australian skipper. Quick work there. Be interesting to see this replay. Let's see if it got a bit of turn here, just to beat the batsman. Goes for the big shot, just outside. Very quick work there.
Definitely, his foot was in the air. Great wicket keeping, definitely a stumping.
Excellent stuff there. So young Doug Webster goes for 20 off 17 balls. It's looking pretty good, having hit 3 boundaries. Just outside his crease. Very quick work from Sam Lang. It's quite quick to get back there, Doug Webster, but excellent stuff from the Australian captain. That's another big wicket there, Dan.
Absolutely. Rob, what's the reason for him keeping? Where's the regular keeper?
Oh, you know, you could blame this on the selectors, who not sure who they are, but the way that we selected the Australian side did pick out a lot of all-rounders, top all-rounders in the rankings. There were a couple of guys, in particular Brody Kenyon, who's a teammate of Marty Henderson, that we thought would go well with the bat in either South Africa at the World Champs or at the Aussie Nationals. Unfortunately, picked up a hamstring injury, similar for another couple of players. So in the end, there wasn't really one of the top keeper batsmen to choose from within the selection criteria. We had to choose from the top 10 in the all-rounder rankings for the 4 wildcard spots. So Sam Lang now keeping. Brodie Dwyer filled in earlier in the tournament, but it was felt that Sammy should take over the gloves.
Well, he's doing a fantastic job, so he should keep more.
He is doing a great job, Sam Lang. Terrific player, well known all around Australia. He works with defence, so his job moves him around the country all the time. Gets to play last man stands in about 6 cities a month, as far as I can make out.
That is an awesome feat. Looking forward to see more excellent keeping from him and more cricket from him in general. So
Nathan Tyrrell there, look at those figures, Dan. 2 overs, 1 for 6 so far, really showing the value of the spin option in the team.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant.
So now Australia
Great
starting
shot
their
there.
13th over, out to deep point. We'll just get the single there. So the new batsman in. Now Dalton Webster, the South African captain, moves to 2 of 3 deliveries. Can you tell us a bit about Dalton here, Dan?
Dalton, also a brilliant cricketer in his own right. Had the privilege of playing against him for many years. Flying around the field and a very clean striker of the cricket ball. Very, very clean striker of the cricket ball.
So Dwyer comes around to do the fielding there. That was good work in the deep there. Brodie covered a lot of ground to get to that. Straight Srinivasan bowling. Second over for Australia.
Australians are just bowling excellent line and length there, just strangling the South Africans. See that, another great delivery.
Pressure really building here on the South Africans, Dan. With that other wicket falling, another set batsman going. They've got the short boundary to the leg side, and the Aussies are aware of that, keeping all the deliveries well outside the off stump. If the South Africans want to go to the short boundary, they're going to have to do a few hoiks across the line, which will be just what the Aussies are after on this pitch.
I think what you'll see is the South Africans will consolidate until around 15 overs, and then I think they'll reassess, and I think you're right about that 140 plus score on this pitch. It's looking like the pitch is not as straightforward to play as it's been on the other days.
Shouts out also there, Dean Curry, in response to the little chat we had about the wicketkeeper in the side, mentioning Keith Vogel. Needed Keith Vogel, he says, quickest hands in the comp and a 50 almost every week. Well, I believe that Keith Vogel's got over 100 LMS 50s now, and he's certainly one of the best keepers I've seen in last man stands, but unfortunately didn't go so well with the bat at the Nationals last year. But it's difficult for the guys to top the batting rankings at Nationals and get a spot in this team, because you need to be in one of the sides that really goes all the way to give yourself a maximum chance of batting points.
Yeah, there's always a lot of cricketers that miss out. Great shot there from James Nelson.
More on the leg side, but it'll just be the single down there behind square. So I think the South Africans will be thinking they missed out slightly there. Keith Vogel also one of the best friends of Anthony Johnson, who we saw the minute silence for before the game. Both those guys growing up in Ipswich together.
Yeah, the South African and Australian team got together, had a moment of silence. I had the privilege of playing against AJ at the World Cup in Cape Town. A gentleman in the sky, and will be sorely missed.
That's it, we were playing each other that game. That was a fantastic game that we had on the backfield, but of limited importance to the commentary here, as much as I'd like to talk about it.
No, it was excellent day of cricket, and Cape Town definitely hope to see many teams back in that part of the world. It was probably one of the greatest cricket tournaments LMS has ever staged.
Brilliant facility, Western Province Cricket Club in Cape Town, and this is brilliant bowling here from Nathan Tyrrell. Sorry, I apologise for that. That was a wide, so not that brilliant, but he's attacking the stumps a bit more this over here, Dan.
Yeah, he's getting the South Africans to lean over a little bit, left their foot in the air. Another stumping opportunity there missed. Oh, another late cut.
Just be a single down to Hayden Page. Sammy Lang doing a terrific job with the gloves, filling keeper for the Australians, but really showing that by LMS standards looks like he's a top keeper to me.
I think he's a top cricketer. You can see he's got good hand-eye coordination. I'd have him keeping my team any day.
Absolutely, given that I'm the keeper in my side, I'd certainly have him keeping in my team any day as well, that's for sure. But that brings an end to Nathan Tyrrell's third over. Brilliant stuff here from him. 1 for 11 from 3 overs from the spinner. Bowling 2 of those overs with a short boundary to the leg side, so fantastic control, getting good turn, and that really shows, Dan, as this tournament has gone on, it's been playing more and more of a part in it, and I think in the finals day tomorrow, there'll be a big part to play with a centre wicket, bigger boundaries on either side.
Absolutely, I think it's going to be a cracker tomorrow. Single down the pitch by Dalton. I think he's just assessing condition. I think they'll consolidate for this over, assess where they need to go, have a chat, and then I think they're going to go.
They do certainly need to go fairly soon. Big appeal there from the Australians. Given not out, a bit ambitious I think. It'll be worth having a look at the replay. But pressure building on the South Africans here. Projected score at the current run rate of just 120. Well, moved down to 118 now, so they'll be knowing that they need a few
big overs,
a few stratospheres, as a couple of their Australian players call them.
Score moves on to 86.
So Nelson now, really the set batsman, is crucial for him to go on and get a 50 here, Dan, and try and get that off about 35 balls at this stage, with him currently on 21 off 24.
He's definitely got the talent, and that's a great shot from Dalton. Really beautiful.
Real class there from Webster. Captain of South Africa, he needs to stand up and deliver, and that's brilliant stuff to see there, Dan.
Stand and deliver. Dalton, definitely a very, very talented cricketer with the bat, ball, all-rounder. I think he's yet to show us the best in this tournament, so hopefully he comes out today.
Just saw a replay of that LBW. Is very ambitious shout there from the Australians. Webster down the ground, they're looking to come back for 2, but quick fielding there from Marty Henderson in the deep will restrict them just the 1. So Puri Srinivasan in his third over here.
Again, brilliant fielding from the Aussies. They are doing fantastic things in the field at the moment, putting lots of pressure on South Africa.
End of third over there from Srinivasan, the Sydney player. 3 overs, none for 23. If we look down the bowling lineup, we've got Nathan Tyrrell just coming back on to finish his spell here. He's bowled fantastically so far, 1 for 11 off 3. Hayden Page still with an over remaining, none for 15 off 3. Young Jake O'Connell, he's only bowled 2 overs, but I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see him bowl, actually, given the context of this game and the fact that he's picked up this back injury.
It might be worth resting him.
Yes, Dalton!
Picks the
Keep
gap
fighting
there.
hard for
Great shot there again from
Keep
Dalton.
going, yeah, bud. Keep going, yeah, lad.
So we've got a big gap there between Brodie Dwyer at deep point and the long off, so that's what the South Africans are targeting there. Webster with 2 boundaries. Webster Senior, the older brother in the team and captain of South Africa.
Yeah, I think 8-a-side cricket, there's always going to be gaps, so definitely exploiting that gap. almost caught and bowled. Single down to the boundary by Dalton.
Good stuff here from Nathan Tyrrell. So keeps it tight. He's got 3 more deliveries to come. Wouldn't be surprised if South Africa were a bit cautious against these 3 deliveries, given that it's the end of his spell down.
Yeah. Great shot
Ground,
there.
and Marty Henderson is very wide at long off, but he does very well to get around there. Good speed over the outfield from Marty.
Great running there from the South Africans. 2 runs.
Score moves on to 98 for 3. 2 deliveries remaining in Nathan Tyrrell's spell. It's the only spin option here in this Australian side today.
And
big shot up into the deep.
shot.
Just going to beat the deep mid-wicket.
And goes for 6 runs.
So there we go, second maximum of the innings there for South Africa, and that's much needed, especially for James Nelson, who now moves on to 29 off 26 balls. As we said before, crucial for him to kick on here, get into the sheds and allow the tail to really have a bit of a swing.
Absolutely. James is the vice captain, part of the leadership core of the South African team, so definitely taking this game very seriously today.
So over in the Singapore versus USA game, USA currently 82 for 2 after 12 overs. Another crucial game in affecting who goes through between South Africa and Australia. And important moment for Shivnarine Chanderpaul, almost about to register his maiden LMS 50. I'm sure one of his career highlights. Currently 49 off 29 deliveries.
Reasonably quick 50 for Shiv.
Just got his 50 there, Shivnarine Chanderpaul, so well battered.
Great batting there, Shiv.
50 off 30 balls, much needed for the USA, but they'll be looking for quick runs to give Singapore a bit of a challenge on the smaller backfield. So change of bowling, and I was incorrect about young Jake O'Connell. Through to the keeper, and that seemed to have a bit more pace. So good to see this. I thought they may rest him or try and get through the overs without him, just in case for tomorrow they need him a bit fresher. But you know, he's a young lad and he'll be wanting to bowl, and that was a good first delivery, and it'll be a big boost for the Australians to see that and see him coming through with a bit more pace.
Absolutely great delivery. Looking forward to seeing bowl more.
That goes up in the air. Jake O'Connell calls for it. Oh, juggles it there, the young man. He's an excellent fielder, so I would have been shocked if he had dropped that. The 17-year-old coming back into the attack, picking up a wicket with his second ball. That's a big wicket there. The captain, Dalton Webster, going for 17 off 14 deliveries. Caught and bowled by Jake O'Connell.
I think Dalton will be disappointed, but I think he'll be amped for the bowling innings. New batsman in is Vaughan van Beckel.
You just see the pressure building there, couldn't you, Dan? I mean, that kind of shot. Previous one had gone through to the keeper. Just trying to go across the line to that shorter boundary on the leg side, just trying to relieve the pressure, gets the top edge.
I think the Aussies are definitely coming out to play today. So we have one of the most experienced LMS players in the history of the game coming out. More than 300 LMS games, Vaughan van Beckel.
It's quite a character, Vaughan van Beckel.
Absolutely. If you want to get some spirit in your team, he's the recorded fierce in South Africa. He's definitely the right person for it. Definitely a character. But plenty of runs, plenty of wickets. Definitely the right man for the situation.
And I believe we should send out some birthday wishes, shouldn't we, as well?
Yeah, it's his daughter's first birthday. He's in trouble with the wife, missing his daughter's first birthday by 3 days. So that's how important LMS World Series is to him and what it means to him as a South African. So
so how old's his daughter then, Dan? Do you have any idea?
1 year old today.
Oh, well, they won't remember. So far more important to play at the LMS World Series, in my opinion.
So Vaughan's got a little bit of an interesting story after this delivery.
Solid delivery again there from Jake O'Connell. So he'll come back for 2
They're
there.
going out for 2 and 2 runs taken.
So,
Great intensity shown by Vaughan.
So your interesting story, Dan?
So Vaughan was part of his sponsorship that he raised for the team and himself to get here was from quite a special company, Lexime Beauty. They're an online beauty store, but What's interesting about the story is Lexi May was...
That'll be 4, but no, it won't.
no, it will
Hayden
be
Page.
cut off by the Australians.
Excellent fielding there from Hayden Page. Really covered a lot of distance there just to cut that down to 2 byes, I think, there.
So speaking about his little 1-year-old daughter, Lexi May unfortunately passed away, and he's playing in honour of Lexi May.
That is
So very, very, very auspicious moment for him. So
Jake O'Connell here, bowling his 4th delivery.
potential run out here.
South Africans.
Oh, just missed out.
Be interesting to have a look at that. So what went on there, Dan?
I think it was just confusion in the middle. I think James didn't want to leave his spot. Vaughan made his ground in the end, but I think it was a lot closer than we thought.
Yeah, real mix up there, and wow, yeah.
Oh, it should have been out.
Definitely should have been out. Any sort of throw close to the stumps he was a yard out there at least. Almost very similar to the Indian wicket against England in the Test match yesterday. A big mix up between Kohli and it was batsman Doan, I think.
Yeah, I think it was Doan. England bowling well there.
So here we go, big Ziad Abbas into the attack now for Australia and gets it straight through to the keeper, just short of the length first ball, so good start from there.
Some lift there.
Ziad.
Took James by surprise.
Another Sydney player here bowling.
Great bowling there, great slower ball.
Ziad Abbas, very popular player in this tournament around all the teams. Dominating sort of character.
Getting a false shot there from James Nelson.
Just a quick update from the USA game. They're currently 91 after 13.4 overs. A small pitch, big pressure on them to have a big finish there.
Definitely have to pick up the rate a little bit. Single down. Vaughan gets a single there. 17.2, 109. I think they need to pick up the rate here a little bit, get to 140. Something that's defendable.
Ball loops up in the air. Won't reach deep point. Just a single there. So what have we got now, Dan? So just 11 deliveries remaining. The score just 111. So
the Nelson. If you are suspicious, you'd be lifting both feet right now.
Well, we got Nelson in the crease, and that's out in the deep, and it looks like it could go down.
Oh,
just
6 runs.
Just a yard in that, out to deep mid wicket. Much needed 6 there. South Africans would have had their hearts in their mouths for a moment there. It really looked like it was just going to drop into deep mid wicket's hands. Let's just see how far this cleared the ropes, Dan.
I think it just
No, we don't qualify.
was
big to the shorter boundary.
just over his head.
An exceptional catch there from young Jake O'Connell out there in the deep.
I must say we've seen some spectacular fielding in this tournament. Lots of catching on the boundary, popping it back up and catching it back in the field.
So important 6 there from Vaughan, and it was a touching moment before the game as well. Not just the AJ silence and remembrance, but also when both teams got together in the pavilion and did a live recording of Happy Birthday for Vaughan's baby. But that's gone up in the air though. It looks like it's going to drop safe. Jake O'Connell goes after it, but that just shows the camaraderie between all the teams here. A massive match for all of them and must-win game. But even before the game, the Aussies and the Saffers taking the time to do something like that for Vaughan's daughter.
I think we play 200% on the field, but off the field, definitely both teams are gentlemen of the game and great ambassadors for cricket in general and LMS. And just showing family. I think family is the core of LMS, and just good people.
Absolutely, that's the
wide down the leg side.
Uncharacteristic from Jake O'Connell there. Just trying to go a bit straight, but that's the life and blood of last man stands, is that mateship and camaraderie and getting guys into the game, and it's as important off the field as it is on the field, and that's why it's been so fantastic to see all the international ambassadors playing for the teams just engaging in that so much over the last week, and all of them saying how much they've enjoyed it and loved it, and the camaraderie of the sport. Great late cut there. Almost takes out Dan Stone's shin in the commentary box.
That's
Very
a dodge there
important
for a
damage.
second, Rob.
I was worried for you, but I
Actually almost tried to field that.
wouldn't have tried to feel that. It was coming pretty fast and could have upset our commentary booth somewhat there. Important 4 there from Vaughan. And he's looking good here, a 6 and a 4.
16 off 7 deliveries. And
Third ball there from O'Connell, but well played from Vaughan out to the deep point. Brodie Dwyer.
That's 124 on the board of 18.3 overs.
So from here, what are you looking at? What are you hoping for from here? You're saying 160 at the start. There's no chance of 160.
I think 140, like you said, 145 could be runs on the board. And
Ball goes up in the air, and this could be another caught and bowled for Jake O'Connell. Takes that one a lot more solidly. No juggling that one. Almost, well, the delivery wasn't the same, but the shot was almost the same. Top edge back to O'Connell, who takes another caught and bowled.
Yeah, full toss that probably should have gone, but I think great catch there.
So James Nelson, the set batsman, goes for 32 off 32. Doesn't look very good, 32 off 32, but I think in the context of this game, Dan, when there's been wickets falling and a lot of pressure consistently from the Australian, South African did need someone to stay there and provide a bit of an anchor to at least allow them to get something on the board. What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. I think James played a crucial role there to anchor the innings, and he did try to go for it at the end there. So I think big hitting from now on. We definitely need to get a 140 or more on the board to get competitive. So I think the South Africans are going to be amped coming out to bowl. We have a very good bowling unit, so it's going to be an excellent change around. But these last 2 overs are definitely going to have to go big.
Great to see Sean Blankenberg joining us, watching the feed. Exceptionally popular player, Sean. About 8'2", I think he is, isn't he? One of the tallest players down the LMS going around.
Funny thing about Sean is I actually went to university with him, and we used to call him Ginormous as his nickname. So
it's a very original nickname there for such a tall man.
Absolutely. So bowls from 4 stories high. I think his natural length is a bouncer.
Edge there, down a deep third man. It won't carry all the way to Hayden Page. Gets the throw back in, so just a single there for South Africa. And we've got Jay Beattie, who's joined Vaughan van Berkel at the crease. So what can you tell us about young Jay?
Jay, excellent youngster, 21 years old, left arm quick bowler. He was one of our wild cards that we chose for the tournament. Plays for Tanks Plumbing, number 2 team in the world. And just an excellent all-round cricketer, thinking cricketer for his age. Had very in-depth conversations. His dad and the whole of Pretoria are watching, so big shout out to LMS Pretoria and to all the guys at the fan park watching. Oh, what a catch!
What a catch there!
What a catch!
Ziad Abbas. Great athleticism from the big man. Unbelievable stuff there. Ziad Abbas.
I think we call that the Superman.
He certainly is the Superman. He's hit 2 of the biggest sixes of the tournament so far. Really powerful man. I'd love to have another look at that coming up on the replay. Brilliant athleticism there. Another great piece of fielding from the Aussies. The 2 big men, Hayden Page and Ziad Abbas, really showing good movement and athleticism in the field.
Absolutely. That was spectacular. For such a big unit to get across the field so quickly.
Have a look at this. Just up in the air.
Oh, what a catch.
What an absolute blinder there from Ziad Abbas. That is going to go down as one of the great last man stands catches. Brilliant stuff there.
One-handed, in the air, full tilt.
Just that big moment kind of player, Ziad Abbas. You know, he can. Australia were really struggling the other day with a bat on the back pitch until Ziad came in and hit at one point. I think it was either 3 successive sixes or 3 sixes in 4 balls, and ended up retiring off 50 off 27. Really took the pressure off them in that game against Singapore, which was a crucial match for them.
Absolutely, great batsman.
Let's have another look at this. Moves quickly to his left and dives absolute blinder.
And still going for the double play.
Still going for the double play. Excellent match awareness there from Ziad Abbas. Brilliant stuff. So, which is more impressive, that catch or Hayden Page's run out?
Oh, I'd say that catch was spectacular for such a big unit to get in the air like that. I'm going to call him Superman. I think that's his new nickname.
Superman. Super Z.
Super Z.
So single out there to the deep. So who have we got at the crease now, Dan?
We've got Ryan Hobart, also plays for Tanks Plumbing.
So 3 Tanks Plumbing players, is that right?
Absolutely. Left arm orthodox bowler, and all round nice guy. I think Big Bear.
So Big Z versus Big Bear here with 2 balls remaining of the South African innings. 19.3 overs, 127 on the board.
Great shot by Ryan.
So last ball coming up here, and with the slightly more set batsman on strike. That's who I'd want for this home run potential.
Home run, LMS.
So Vaughan van Berkel, he's already shown that he can do it. Outside off stump, excellent bowling there from Ziad Abbas. Quicker delivery, well outside off. Van Berkel would have been going to the short leg side boundary for the home run hit, which of course is worth 12 runs. That's an excellent finish from Ziad. Excellent bowling from the Australians. Brilliant fielding performance. The South Africans had to struggle for all of their runs in this morning match. 128 for 6 after 20 overs. So Dan, what do you think about that?
I think that's well below par on this pitch. It just shows you how well the Aussies fielded and bowled. Big up to them, and I think they've definitely shown up this morning to play a big game, and I think the South Africans are going to have to pull out something spectacular to restrict the South Africans below, the Australians below this 128 score. But I think whatever happens, knockout cricket, they're going to have to put the pressure on right from the ball one, and hopefully take them right down to the 20th over. So looking forward to see what happens.
Aussie Moose rightly saying that the commentators have a man crush on Big Z, but Aussie, if you spent a week around Big Z, it's pretty hard to say no to the big man. Also Murray Taylor joining us, saying that South Africa looking like they're going to end up 40 short. Big shout out to Murray, institution in LMS for many years, another South African like yourself.
Yeah, Murray Taylor.
William Jacobs as well joining us. Going to fast become Sydney's most capped players with the amount of games he's playing. He's up there playing about 150 games a year, I think, so almost the same levels as some of your South African players.
Yeah, Clint de Bruyn and Juan Kutzer, 500 games in the year so far for Juan.
Guys, so if we have a look down this scorecard here, the opening partnership, which has been so important for South Africa during this tournament, Varnan Venter went for 18, Martin van Wyk for 15 off 9. He was looking really good. That was a massive wicket there from Hayden Page, a brilliant piece of fielding and direct hit. Dougie Webster, excellent stumping off a part of an excellent spell from Nathan Tyrrell. Young Jake O'Connell, 2 caught and bowls, showing that his back problem clearly isn't hurting him too much. Vaughan van Berkel on his daughter's birthday with a very important unbeaten 18 off 10 balls. Young Jay Beattie will be disappointed with that 1 off 2, but he was out to an absolute cracking catch from Big Z. Ryan Hobart at the end unbeaten on 2. So very, very good bowling performance there from Dan.
Excellent.
If we look down these figures here, all of those economy rates pretty good. Even Puri Srinivasan, 3 overs, none for 23. Most expensive of the bowlers, but still a good spell. Excellent stuff from Nathan Tyrrell in particular, I thought. Although his figures aren't the best on there, that was a crucial spell, really put the pressure on at the time. 2 wickets for young Jake O'Connell, both caught and bowled. Marty Henderson showed his experience bowling out as opener, really putting the pressure on the South Africans there. 4 overs, 1 for 22. And Ziad Abbas at the end there, 2 overs, 1 for 12 at a time when South African would have really been looking to go hard at him. To go for only 12 runs off 2 deliveries was a great effort.
Absolutely, I think Marty stepped up to the plate. So big thank you to the LMS commentary team and for allowing me to have a chat with you guys. Cheers.
So thanks there to Dan Stone for joining me in the commentary booth, and welcome to Wayne Grieve, founder of Last Man Stands, another South African. Welcome, Wayne.
Good morning, Rob. It's a warm morning here. Yesterday obviously we had a rainy day, the first rainy day of the tournament, but we're back to full sunshine.
So Wayne, with these pitches, we're playing on the side wicket today, which obviously has a short leg side boundary, which is definitely going to come into play in the second innings of this game. Do you know which wicket we'll be using for the finals day tomorrow?
I think we're going to be on the same wicket. We can have a look at it after today's play. There's obviously just one game on this wicket today, so we're going to get the cameras just to go and have a look at the strip. And we've got our pitch correspondent Ross Cowood, who's a specialist in analysing grass wickets. He's going to give us a synopsis of this wicket and how he sees it playing for the rest of the match. So we'll be across to him shortly. As we look at this league table, Rob, this is going to be an interesting finish. If South Africa lose and Singapore win, they're out. If South Africa lose, they're relying on USA to beat Singapore. So there's all sorts of permutations. If Australia lose, they're not technically out. They're going to rely on Singapore not winning with the bonus points. We're going to have to, the second 20 overs are going to be very interesting. We're going to cross over to Ross for pitch report now.
Good morning and welcome back to Chester, day 6 of the LMS World Series. We're in the halfway mark of the South Africa-Australia game. South Africa have posted 128. If we could just have a quick look at the wicket. The groundsman prepared an absolute belter again. I've got my key with me just to show you how hard it is. Can't get my key in there. The wicket is fantastic at the moment, offering a good battle between bat and ball. It should be a great run chase for Australia. See you guys soon.
So thanks to Ross Cowood for a superb analysis provided on that pitch. Glad to see he had his key with him, and despite the rain yesterday, he wasn't able to get the key into the wicket.
Excellent facilities here, brilliant wickets. As we said before, Cheshire's home ground, so county ground here. Lovely facilities at Chester Boughton Hall. And you're watching South Africa take on Australia in a must-win game for both sides. 128 posted off the first 20 overs from South Africa, which people saying 30, maybe 40 under par. But in matches like this, so much pressure on these Australian batsmen going in and chasing these runs. So I think it's important for Australia to just go in and play their natural way, Wayne, and not let the situation change how they bat.
Definitely. I think a lot of people are thinking South Africa are 30-40 short. I actually think they're probably about 15 to 20 short, but that can be made up very quickly. 2 or 3 tight overs. Looks like Australia are going to open with Brodie Dwyer. Very correct player. If we look at some of the footage from the Singapore game, Rob, if you got a latest on the scorecard there, I know Chanderpaul retired with 50 not out, but this is a
crucial
key
game
match
here
in this tournament. South Africa and Australia, whoever loses this game, we'll be watching closely here.
So we're in the last over of this game now. Shivnarine Chanderpaul with a crucial 50 off 30 balls earlier. 124 for 4 after 19 overs, so that single brings it up to 125. At the crease we've got Ashwin Venkat and Faisal Sheikh. 4 balls remaining. The number 6 and 7 batsmen here, so into the tail, the Singapore team.
So it's interesting dynamics there, because Singapore will be having to watch the game on the main oval closely, because if Australia happen to lose this game, which is not looking likely to be the case from here, but if they do, Singapore will need to win at the bonus points to go through, so they'll need to chase that down within 16 overs. But if Australia win, they only need to just win the game. So not easy for the Singapore team either, but they just need to bat properly, and I think for the first 8 overs just concentrate on winning the game and then having a look at where the game is on pitch 2.
Absolutely, it's a small backfield there, so you'd think that Singapore were well on top and should be able to pick up the bonus points. Siraj Majiet chipping in. Siraj, another great LMS player from South Africa. I think he won the Best Moustache Award in LMS once, about 7 or 8 years ago. He says 128, not a bad score, taking into account all the activity on the wicket over the last few days. Nothing much left in the wicket for the batters. Well, interestingly enough, this wicket's hasn't been used too much, so when you say the last few days.
I think it's still a good wicket. South Africa, the innings fell away after the 2 openers got out. They didn't run between the wickets well. That middle period, Australia were extremely good at the ball, and sometimes you've got to look for the 2s, and they just didn't do that. So Brodie Dwyer on strike. Good. And BT starts with a wide. BT looks disappointed there.
Left-handers all round here, opening up. BT with the ball. Nathan Tyrrell, the non-striker, after an excellent bowling spell. And Brodie Dwyer, the regular Australian opener.
How do you think Dwyer's going to approach this innings, Rob?
I think this innings is made for Brodie Dwyer, which he just hits it out there to the deep, and he'll come back for 2 there, pushing Nathan Tyrrell hard with that run, and that'll get his confidence going early, Brodie. So this is made for him. He's the kind of batsman that just steadies the ship. He's the anchor of the Australian innings, and in a run chase like this, where the required run rate isn't so high, I think he can just play his natural game, nerdle it around, just make sure that he's there at the end. Allow the other guys to have more of a hit. Crucial edge there.
Now
flies
again,
off the
I
form.
think South Africa missed a trick here. Jay Beattie bowling to the left-hander. Big slope. Suits in his way swing. And he's got an opportunity to take a 4-2 field. And he hasn't elected to do it. There's a massive hit up the hill here. And that was an opportunity with a low score on the board to apply some pressure.
Agree with you exactly on that, Wayne.
To the right-hander, I think having a 3-3 with this field down the slope is all right, but I think he's missed an opportunity there. You can see he's getting to shape. Another example there, if they had a other backward point in, saving a single. Obviously, it's not easy for having a slip, you know. It's only one slip, but you never know. You never know, and we have seen other teams put slips in early doors. Oh, and the fine legs heard me here, but the horse might have already bolted there.
So Nathan Tyrrell's first ball of the match here after an excellent bowling spell. Picked up a 50 against Singapore. Nathan Tyrrell, sorry not to get his confidence up, and welcome to Gavin Buckle and Lydon Gibbons who are watching now. Just a single out there to the deep. Good fielding from the South Africans. Lydon Gibbons, 2 or 3 years ago when he was slightly younger and fitter, would have been a shoo-in for this Australian side, Wayne, but disappointing.
I still think he's unlucky to miss out. Personally, I would have had him in my starting 8. I'm not sure who the selectors are, but Lydon, extremely unlucky.
BC coming in to end his first over. Good pace there. Down to third man just for the single, so good over there from BT. Unlucky with the edge that flew off down to third man. So Lydon, that's your motivation to bounce back and make the next World Series team. We've seen you be a star at the World Champs in Barbados and over in South Africa, so next time your opportunity.
So just coming back to the power play situation. For those of you who have been following this broadcast, you'll know that there's quite a big slope. Nick Compton explained that it's similar to Lords. It runs away from the left-hander's leg side to the offside. So there's an opportunity, and there's also a very small boundary running down the hill on the offside. So there's a perfect opportunity to bowl outside off stump, get them to hit one side of the wicket, and don't get too straight.
So just an update from the other game, which is crucial for this one. So USA finished up on 126 for 7 after 20 overs.
As we said again, it's just missing a trick here, South Africa. 2 left-handers at the crease. When the power play overs, low score on the board, you have to try something different. You can't just go with your normal 3-3 field.
Absolutely easy picking here for the 2 left-handed Australian openers. Early pressure here on South Africa, with Australia getting a decent start, and South Africa desperately in need of early wickets here to get some pressure on the Australians.
It's got the field square, but still not the field that you need. I still think there's an opportunity to get a backward point in here. Now we go. He's moved to a cross. I still think you should be having the guy at backward point. He could be coming up saving one. Get Brodie Dwyer to try something different.
So he's moved slightly more towards backward point, but still right out on the boundary. So easy singles on the offside for the Australian openers here. And the umpire's given him there
was
down the
definitely
leg
noise.
side.
There was definitely noise. Just depends what it hit.
Brodie Dwyer walking off slowly, but he seems to have accepted that decision, which suggests that it was a wicket there. And excellent pace bowling there, good wicket keeping. Tough catch. Let's have another look at this one here from Van Wyk, Martin Van Wyk bowling. Definitely looks like a bit of glove
There
there.
was a noise, and it wasn't too far away from anything else. The only other thing it could have been was maybe the flick of his shirt, but that sounded like glove to me.
The other angle. Yep, definite movement there. So good decision there from the umpire. The South Africans were confident with their appeal. The umpire did take a few moments, but then a good call there in the end, I think. Ambitious there from Van Wyk to go for the bouncer with the 4-2 field.
Yeah, I don't know if it's something he thought about. Maybe at boxing Dwyer there. Everyone was expecting the ball to be full and on off stump with the 4-2 field on the offside, and he went for the bouncer. And it's paid off.
Van Wyk's spell will be crucial here, I think, Wayne, for South Africa. He's an excellent all-round cricketer, Martin, and it's really important for him to pick up 2 or 3 if South Africa are gonna have a good go at this, I would have thought.
Now the Australians will be nervous, yeah. Their batting hasn't quite fired in this tournament. They've been very good at the ball, and as the tournament's gone on, their fielding's got better and better.
So Puri Srinivasan in at number 3 for the Australians, Sydney-based player. Another short ball there from Van Wyk, signalled by the square leg umpire as the bouncer for the over. So he allowed 1 at head height in the over in last man stand, so that's the 1 at the head. Solid play from Puri. So the Australians, we will know that they don't need a huge run rate to get through and chase down this below par South African target of 129. But as Wayne says, there will be nerves in the lineup. Not all the batsmen have produced. They're without the international Marcus North today, who's got one of their 50s. Another shortish delivery there from Van Wyk, so he's really putting it to the Australians, and that's a good first over from him in the end. 1 for 4 off his first over.
A good comeback. So JBT, it's going to be interesting to see which field they go. I think for the left-hander, you've got to get him to change his game plan.
So a bit of pressure on the Australians after that over, 14 for 1. First man down, Brodie Dwyer, who would have been the batsman that they would have been looking to just stay there and anchor the innings. Most of the other players in this Australian lineup are natural hitters of the ball. So
I like this ball. He was going to move him, and he's Dalton Webster, never easy as a captain. He's got a lot of different views. Some of them come from the commentary track. He's gone back to 4-2 now. I think this is better. JBT, I tell him to bowl full. Get the ball swinging down the slope.
young JBT, quick fast bowler. Out to deep mid-wicket just for a single there. So now the right-handed batsmen come in. comes in to strike, so they're moving the field round. So what do
Much
we
better
have
from
here?
South Africa, yeah.
So we have the third man coming a bit finer, deep point, long off. Before he plays that down to third man. So
That's
be
a great
happy to
line
get
from
off mark.
JBT with a 4-2 field. So South Africa's field is moving after every ball. Left hand, right hand combination. A lot of movement here. Webster needs to make sure that his field is set right for each ball. Take his time. So there's a fine leg, a deep mid wicket, no mid on, and a packed offside field here. He's got to go full and straight.
It's an appeal there. Looks like it was slipping down the leg side. Second delivery for third delivery there from Nathan Tyrrell.
So JBT swings the ball into the right hander and away from the left hander. He'll be looking to try and find an edge.
Let's have a quick look at this. Height from the side.
Just a little bit short. Another 2 yards up to the bat required.
Reaches outside off stump there, and that'll just be the single to the deep point. So required runs 112 from 86 balls for the Australians. So run rate shouldn't really be an issue for them today, given the amount of hitting in their lineup. It's really about the wickets and the nerves that could come from that.
Packed offside field, 4-2.
Well wide there from BT. Relieves a bit of pressure, but shows what he's trying to do. Bowling wide outside the off stump.
Yeah, obviously you've got to have the bowlers to execute it. This 4-2 field. JBT is a very good bowler, but it's probably against his natural shape to the right-hander because it does swing into the pads. Just needs to try and start it half of outside off stump, swing it in.
That's a 6 there from Puri Srinivasan. That's massive. That will be going into the canal on the leg side, on the short leg side boundary.
It's a superb shot. And JBT just too short there.
Puri Srinivasan onto it in a flash. It's a short boundary down there, and there's a canal on the leg side, so that ball's not coming back.
Just important to mention that South Africa, without one of their premier all-rounders in this match, Cameron Pryor. And I think that South Africans are going to find it tough to find a wicket-taking bowler once one of these two come off.
What's the reason for his absence then, Wayne?
See, he's done a hamstring injury. You would think the left-arm spinner of Hubert is going to be crucial in this match, but they just don't have enough runs on the board, yes, sir. They're going to need to pick up wickets.
Big shot there from Puri Srinivasan, and over on the back pitch we have Singapore starting their innings against the USA. Crucial fixture for this group. Both these matches very similarly poised, with USA scoring 126 in their 20 overs, batting first. South Africa scoring 128, so similar targets being set there. Singapore will be going out knowing that to guarantee their spot, they need to pick up the bonus points, so they'll be looking to chase the runs in under 16 overs. But as Wayne said earlier, they'll probably just go the first 10 overs, be careful and make sure that they get that win first. In all likelihood, this game is going to be a winner-takes-all match between South Africa and Australia for the second and third spots in Pool B, Sri Lanka having topped the group.
Both these teams will want the insurance policy of Singapore losing the game. You can see JBT walking down to long on. He's having a look at pitch 2. Could that be South Africa's only hope?
Still plenty of time yet. A few wickets here, but that 6 will have settled a couple of the Australian nerves. Nathan Tyrrell rocks onto the back foot. Beautiful shot there through extra cover. Massive gap there between long off and
that's a great shot.
Deep point.
Great shot from the big man.
So Nathan Tyrrell, that'll get his confidence going. He's had a good tournament so far with bat and ball. He was the world's #1 ranked batsman for 18 months, Nathan Tyrrell. Justifying his wild card pick. Spin option's been massive for Australia. They've got Marcus North as well with his left arm spin, but He's not available today. Rocks onto the back foot, and that's a shot that Nathan Tyrrell is renowned for. He loves anything short. His pull shot, one of the best in the game in Last Man Stands Australia. South Africa had the cover there out in the deep, so just a single there.
So South Africa need wickets, and they need them quickly here.
For me, this is the man, Wayne. Martin van Wyk. Very competitive cricketer. Character off the field as well as on it. And he'll be pumped for this spell. Good stuff here from Van Wyk.
He's fighting. Van Wyk's a fighter.
Similar character to Marty Henderson, both top all-rounders, very competitive guys. Shot from Srinivasan there, he picks the gap between third man and backward point all the way. Excellent shot there from Srinivasan, there's a big gap there. So he's looking good there, moves to 12 off 9 deliveries, which includes a 6 and a 4. 1-6 into the canal.
So South Africa have only got one full-time spinner in their team, Hobert. It looks like they're going to go to him now. I think that's the right call.
So Ron Hubert, he'll be coming on the spin option with the short leg side boundary, but at the moment for Australia, left-right hand combination. Puri Srinivasan will certainly be tempted to try and clear that leg side boundary, so this could be a good tactic here from South Africa. Hubert coming on to bowl, trying to tempt him to go for the 6 and get a leading edge. We saw 2 wickets like that in the South African innings. Top edges back to the bowler Jake O'Connell. If we look at Nathan Tyrrell's record there, that's a fantastic record. 150 innings with the bat, average of 81, strike rate of 221. Brilliant stuff. Tyrrell goes down the ground, and that's towards the gap. Long off, comes round, does the fielding just there for the single. Careful shot there. I think he was well aware that long off was round. So here you go. This will be interesting to see if Srinivasan keeps his head and plays on the offside, or if he gets tempted to do the leg side hoik. Sensible play there from Srinivasan out to the deep. Australia picking up another single.
Shots of Komsian from the boundary. Laat ons beklei here. Something like that. I think that's, come on boys, let's fight ya.
Nathan Tyrrell down the ground, just along on Jay Beattie there. That would just be the single. So Australia moving on to 36 for 1 after 4.3 overs. Now requiring 93 from 77 balls. On the back pitch, Singapore 9 after 1.4 overs. So being careful early on.
Shots of 1 from Hubert.
Solid start here from Hubert.
For those of you who haven't watched much of Hubert bowling, his trademark shot is 1. You know he's confident bowling well when he delivers the ball and puts his hands up after he's appealing and shouts 1. Let's see if it happens here.
Puts his hand up. Well, good prediction
There's
there.
the 1. There's the 1. It's a delayed one that time, but it came out.
5 singles off the over. So Hubert doing what he does best.
So those of you who have no interest in this game, but looking to have a side bet on this game, it's always fun to predict whether Hubert is going to shut 1 after each ball.
So 5 overs gone now in this game. 38 for 1 Australia. Chasing 129 for victory. So the equation is now 91 from 75 balls with 7 wickets in hand. Nathan Tyrrell at the crease, unbeaten on 11. Puri Srinivasan unbeaten on 14. It's a crucial game for South Africa and Australia. Effectively winner takes all in terms of qualifying for tomorrow morning's quarter-final.
So it's a Saturday here in Chester. There's going to be a game of club cricket to follow this. So it's just the one game on this pitch today.
So coming on to bowl, Vaughan van Berkel. On the leg side, good fielding there in the deep. So just single there from Nathan Tyrrell. What do you know about Van Berkel's bowling, Wayne?
He mixes it up a lot. He's got one out the front of the hand, one out the back of the hand. It's a clever bowler, and the type of bowler you need on these wickets.
Srinivasan on strike. Goes the leg side there and goes through the fielder. That'll be disappointing for South Africa there. Through Ryan Hoover. That looked like a regulation one out to the deep there, and you can see how frustrated he is there. We have another look here. Goes quickly along the outfield. Goes down.
Oh, just got a bit of a bobble there.
Slight bobble, but he'll be disappointed not to have got his body behind the ball. Relieves a bit of pressure there. Srinivasan, clever, intelligent play. Puts it down into the offside just for a single. Got the boundary off the over that they'll be looking for. So now, after the end of this over, we'll be joined by Ross Cawood, another South African, who many of you will know, runs last man stands in New Zealand and London. Taken a lot of wickets around the world.
Most of them caught on the boundary.
There we go, out to the deep. They'll come back for two. Good running there from the Australians. Decent arm in. Nathan Tyrrell moving on to 14 runs. So thanks, Wayne, for your stint in the commentary box. What are your final predictions about South Africa here? Where do you see this game going?
Well, at the moment it looks like South Africa will be joining a few beers for the rest of the tournament, but you never know. One or two quick wickets, they could have a chance, but this looks very comfortable from here for Australia.
Absolutely. Australia, 6 overs gone, 47 for 1 wicket. Both batsmen set now. Nathan Tyrrell, 15 off 12 balls. Puri Srinivasan, 19 off 13 balls. Pressure really on the South Africans here. If we look at the other game, Singapore, again a solid start. 2 overs gone in that game, 13 for none. They'll be looking to chase the runs down inside 16 overs on the smaller back pitch to guarantee their passage through. But they're looking pretty good either way to qualify. So Ryan Hubert back on to bowl his second over. He'll be very determined to get a wicket here to make up for that misfield that went through to the boundary in the last over. Tyrrell down the wicket. Gets it into the gap. They should be able to come back for 2 there. The Australians, Puri Srinivasan. Quick running there. Excellent stuff. And they go for Tyrrell's end. So Puri really pushing Nathan for the 2 there. So, Ross Cawood joining the commentary box now.
Thanks, Rob.
I like it.
That's gone huge.
Fantastic.
Jay beats it under it, into the wind. Big moment. Oh, and he's
dropped it.
bottle it. Huge moment in the game there.
Oh dear. Ball was in the air for a long time.
Just held up into the wind there. Huge moment there.
Well bowled. Obey. Dot balls, as we say, is always worth gold. Trying to start a bit of pressure. You can see this game means a lot to both teams. Playing with a lot of passion. Well bowled.
Yeah, no, that's a huge, huge moment. JBT will be so disappointed with that. Normally got safe hands. Well, Africans are going to have to pick up their body language, yeah. Well bowled from a bear. Ross, what do you think? A wicket there would have meant South Africa coming back into the game slightly, but from here they've got a 20% chance.
I would agree, Wayne. As I say, always one brings two. Could have started off a bit of a panic in the Aussie dressing room, but as it stands, Australia looking very comfortable in this run chase.
So Nathan Terrell from Wollongong, 19 from 15. The Rock Lobster boys will be watching this game closely. It's a great shot. That's an unbelievable. That's race to the boundary from Terrell.
Despairing dive on the boundary. 4 more to the Australians. So Van Berkel going for a boundary off his first ball. Going to try pull this back. Oh, it's another great shot.
So drop catch. And then 2 boundaries.
Tyrrell looking very dangerous here. Vaughan van Berkel bowling his slower ball. The batsman picking it up pretty early, dispatching it to the boundary. Dot ball. Lots of noise and what seems to go on a bit quiet in the South African field. There was lots of noise in the beginning, trying to keep each other fired up. And the wicket might have kept that going. Tyrrell slaps it down to long off.
So the way you got to be thinking now as a South African, you got to always try and find a thought process that might get you back into the game. You got to be thinking 2 tight overs and a wicket, and all of a sudden it evens it up.
I would agree with that plan, Wayne. If they start building a bit of pressure, we know pressure does funny things to people.
Ross, it's good to have a left arm spinner in this commentary box because Hubert, if South Africa are going to get over the line, it's going to rely on Hubert having 2 tidy overs here and maybe picking up a wicket or 2. If you've got any advice that you'd pass on, before you do so, let's just have a look at Chanderpaul's coming to attack here. I think South Africa's best chances here in this tournament of staying alive is USA beating Singapore.
So Hubert back into attack. I think he's got to sort of vary his pace. That should be key. Various lines. Keep the batsman guessing. Starts off with a dot. I must say that other than that catch, the South Africans are a fantastic fielding unit. Good arms, quick around the boundary. Keeper fencer keeps them all in their game. A bit short there.
That's a good bit of outfielding from Van Dijk.
Hubert looks like he stopped putting his hand up saying 1.
Yeah, I think the body language of the South Africans, just a few of the players, seems like they already feel they're beaten, yeah?
Let's hope that's not the case. South Africans are renowned for their never giving up, and their gees, as we would say.
I think the problem for South Africa is they've got a lack of slow bowling variety here. Hubert's just gone for 13 runs from his 13 balls, so showing the value of pace off.
It's all looking a bit too easy for the Australians at the moment. I think the South Africans are going to have to try get their brains trust together, try think of a different game plan to make a breakthrough here.
I think they might need to start passing on some advice to the Americans. I think South Africa are gone, yeah.
Wayne, I know you've got a lot of South African friends. Let's hope they're not all listening to that.
Just being honest.
Good over by Hubert, so no boundary, but 5 dots. And they're rotating the strike, keeping the scoreboard ticking along. The score now is 67 for 1 after 9 overs, chasing 128.
So we look at the league table here. South Africa lose. The only chance of them going through is USA beating Singapore. That's why a few of their heads have turned to that field. Although I've made the statement the game's over, if I was in the field I still would feel I've got a chance, Ross, and I'm sure Dalton Webster feels the same. Just looking from the outside, it doesn't look like they've got a chance here, Ross.
Yep. As they say, cricket's a funny game. Just need 1 wicket here to set the cat amongst the pigeons.
Oh, that's a great saying, Ross.
Been known for my cliches in the commentary box.
That's one of your best ones so far.
Nathan Tyrrell is in complete control here.
It's a good start from Dalton Webster, yeah. Just rolling his fingers under that one. I know Nick Potters has been passing on a lot of advice to the South Africans. I know he was a very big fan of pace-off. Oh, 4 more. So this drop catcher, Tyrrell making them pay. The run rate required is 5.38.
So if you're watching this live game on the Facebook live stream, please tell us where you're watching from. It'd be great to hear from you. It's a wide, signaled by the umpire.
Sharp bit of keeping from Venter. Skipper says he's watching from Johannesburg. Big shout out to Aislinn Dwyer, watching her brother from Brisbane. Even a high 10 there. We've got Paul Avramoski watching from Wollongong. Got the overthrows, LMS Sunshine Coast watching from the Sunshine Coast.
Okay, so that's 10 overs. Score is 76 for 1. It's going to be a change of end. Hobear's going to carry on in his spell. Oh no, it looks like they're going with Vaughan van Berkel. So Mats van Wyk runs past him, just gives him the good old Aussie tap.
We've got Lee Holness watching from Adelaide. Valentino Valentine watching from Cape Town. Colin Mills back in Scotland. David Walden in South Australia. Glenn Scoville in Townsville.
Oh, it's a big shot.
Again.
Oh, it's 4 more. Heaved over down to mid wicket. Nathan Tyrrell looking for a certain 50 here. Set the platform nicely for a Australian win, but you never know. Van Berkel changing his field.
So for our American and Singapore viewers, at the end of this match we will be crossing it over to Singapore, USA on the live stream. Singapore look like they're going to join Australia in the knockout stages.
Well bowled, Vaughan. Comes back with a dot.
Still a bit to do here for both sides.
So the required rate is 49 or 48 balls.
That's a strike rate you would be comfortable with, Ross.
Been known to. Oh, well
Bowled
bowled
him!
is. Could that be the breakthrough that South Africa need? Vaughn van Berkel, massive wicket on his daughter's first birthday. South Africa might just think now that they have a glimmer of hope in this massive contest. Looked like Nathan Tyrrell just played all around that one. Sent the South Africans with their team gathering, chat, the motivating Team SA shout.
Ashley Brownie said, bring Marty in next and finish it off. Got your wish, Ashley. Marty Henderson arrives at the crease. And we know Marty loves the cameras. And I'm sure he'll be looking to take it home for his boys here.
Big game player Marty Henderson. Talks a big game on and off the field.
But he backs it up. He backs it up most of the time.
Yep. Venan Venter saying, kom Sien, kom manne. Come boys.
Oh, good change up from Van Berkel.
Henderson off the mark. Running it down to third man. The South Africans really now need to capitalise on that wicket. Try to get another one. Just creates a bit of scoreboard pressure.
This feels like a knockout game. And it is for South Africa. Singapore going well on pitch 2. Getting over the line is always challenging. So I still think there'll be a few nerves in the Australian camp here. Pete Bowman shouts, come on, goat. Ross, do you know who he's referring to?
I'm guessing Marty.
We'll just check. I think that's right. Can anyone inform us who the goat is and why?
So Herbert back into the attack, just marking out his run. Just checking his field.
He's given him!
He's given him! Fantastic wicket that. Great bit of keeping. Venan Venter. Well done, sir.
Oh, the Aussies choking you.
Big call that. Just as we were talking about this, one brings two.
Ross, you've used up all your cliches for
I
the
know,
commentary.
I was thinking the same thing. But pressure's on the Aussies now.
That's so well bowled.
Seems to be a renewed energy in the field for the South Africans.
That looked like Ronaldo after he had scored a goal there. Great celebration from Herbert.
They look fired up. But Sam Lang, the Australian captain, comes to the crease.
You might have heard shouts of Moiseans. That was from the injured player Cameron Fryer. He was saying the Aussies are about to choke here. We're going to call Nathan Tyrrell into the commentary box. That was a superb knock from the man from Rock Lobsters from Wollongong.
Hi Nathan, well batted.
Thank you.
You looked like you enjoyed it out there.
Yeah, no, it was pretty good.
But it's a good balance of boundaries and keeping the scoreboard ticking with singles and twos.
Yeah, the wicket was pretty good. I felt it's coming on pretty well. But they're starting to use a lot of change-ups now, so it could affect how we play our game.
That was a fantastic innings. Set the platform up for the boys.
Yeah, just got to have a right positive mindset and not try to get bogged down and if anything, a single.
Are the boys still pretty comfortable in the dressing room with what's going on with those last 2 quick wickets?
Well, there could be a couple of scares now, but I think we'll be right. We've got plenty of batting in our lineup still to come, so yeah, should be a good end to the game.
You guys do bat deep, so
Yes, we pretty much bat down to 8 and.
ooh, Hobert having a fantastic over here. Wickets, all those dots. Seems to be getting a bit of assistance from the pitch. I think the Australian batsmen just to reassess how they complete this run chase. So between these two batsmen, they've got 25,000 run LMS runs between them. So that's a wealth of experience. And they'll be drawing on that experience to get them over the line here.
So Nathan, talk us through that dismissal. Did it keep a bit low?
Yeah, so the first ball I faced, it was I slogged it for 4, and then the second ball he's changed his pace and it's hit me in the groin area. So then I thought if he does it again, I might try and say a similar sort of shot, and he did, and it actually didn't bounce as much as I thought. So end up playing all round it in the end.
So what do you think? South Africa's now the favourites from here?
Yeah, not too sure. It's in the balance, I think. If we can get a couple of singles here and there, I think we might sneak home.
That's a fair assessment. So Van Berkel back into the attack. Great shot by Sam Lang. Dispatched it for 4.
If we pick our balls here, we should be okay.
You guys had a enjoyable tour here in the UK, Nathan?
Yeah, it's been good. It's a couple of our boys' first time over here, so it's been a good experience.
Fantastic to have you guys here.
It's a fantastic venue here.
So Van Berkel comes back with a dot ball. Dot balls are invaluable at this stage of the game.
Here we go, boys. Here we go, boys.
Another slow ball by Van Berkel. It's one of his strengths, is mixing up the pace. He's got a couple of slow ball. One comes out the back of the hand, runs his fingers down the other one. I'm sure the Australian boys did their homework in the video analysis before the game. Marty Henderson running hard, wanting to. Oh, confusion! Get back for 2 safely. Okay, so score is 92 for 3 after 13 overs. 2 newish batsmen at the crease. Sam Lang and Marty.
So Nathan, there was a crucial drop catch in this game. You looked to go over long on against the spinner, and Jay Beattie at long on dropped it. Did that just hold up into the wind?
Yeah, it was a bit of a false shot. I didn't hit it clean enough as I thought, but yeah. And it wasn't meant to go in that area.
Where were you looking to go?
I was trying to play him a bit more straighter towards the side screen. I felt if I got to the pitch of the ball I could do that, but unfortunately I didn't on the ball.
This is Martin van Wyk back into the attack. Some great fielding there by Van Berkel. These batsmen have to run the first one hard and try to put pressure on the fielders to get 2s. Good presence of mind by Van Fencer, stopping the ball, hit the helmet. 5 runs now would be criminal.
Nathan, who's in next for you guys?
I'm not sure who they'll send in next. We've got Big Z padded up. Looks like Jake's over there padded up. Maybe Jake. depending on the situation of the game, things may change, but I'd say at this moment maybe Jake.
It's going to be interesting to see how the final three chase the score here, because we know Sias Abbas likes to hit a long ball. We know Jake also is a clean striker, but that's not what's required yet. So it's a calm head that's required. And do you think the approach will be to go for singles or just to play their natural game?
Yeah, not sure, to be honest. If these, depending on the situation, all our guys, we like to hit the ball, obviously. We, I guess, just play each ball as it comes down. You know, don't play their own game, and, you know, if it's there, back their ability to do the right thing.
So the equation at the moment is 34 of 31. Talking about Big Z, he took a fantastic hook and bold catch off his bowling today.
Yes, that's just what Big Z does. Loves to be in front of the camera, loves it all.
It was great because he even turned around and tried to get the double play.
Yes. Big C's been fantastic this tournament, especially around the team. He's just what he brings to the team is just great, and it just lifts everyone up.
No, he's a legend.
Nathan, have you got any words that you want to say to the Rock Lobster boys back in Wollongong?
Yeah, just thanks for your support, guys. It's been great. Yeah, and just back to my family at home, and hope you're all well, and I'll get to see you next week.
I'm sure you're looking forward to that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'd just like to do a shout out for one of the South African guys. Happy first birthday to Victoria from South Africa.
Dougie Webster. Well bowled.
Go on there we go, boys. Go on, Doug, go on,
Got Vaughan van Berkel here at long on asking Marty Henderson to play a different shot.
Here we go, lads. Here we go, Doug.
And did Marty Henderson bite?
Of course he did.
Oh, well bowled, Dougie. Well
Good
bowled,
change of
Dougie,
pace
well
there by
bowled.
Webster.
That's it,
Dot
man,
ball.
that's it.
Always know in this format of cricket, when you start chasing, getting behind the rates a bit, the pressure builds, a bit of panic could set in. Should be a fantastic tight finish this. Oh, great shot by Sam Lang. Out to the cover boundary. Dalton on the boundary, whips it in. It's great over there by Dougie. A couple of signals from it. Dalton Webster. It's back into the attack. So on field 2, Singapore in complete control in that game against the USA. The required rate is 38 from 51. The skipper, Dalton. Starts with a dot. It's good fielding for zone bowling.
Dot balls are gold in these last couple of overs here, so it's going to make things quite interesting now.
They are. But you've got a wealth of experience at the crease there.
Yes.
These guys would have found themselves in this position many a time.
Great shot, Marty.
Marty will enjoy that. You check he's got the swagger going now. The wind seems to be picking up here. Don't think it'll change the conditions too much. Marty Henderson's played the same shot again. That Vaughan van Berkel was asking him to stop playing. Running it down to third man. So who did you say was next in, Nath?
I think Jake is, but we've got 3 padded up over there, so it could be any of them. Maybe Hayden Page. Hayden Page pretty got a cool head on him, so depending on the situation.
It's good to have be able to be flexible like that.
Yeah, so
Just adjust to the situation.
yes.
So the South Africans still believe that they can get over the line, yeah? Oh, no. Yes, no from Marty. Good over there from Dalton.
Just another thing for the viewers to be aware of, the team that finishes second in this group will play third in the other group, which is India. And India are arguably easier competition than Pakistan, so it's important for Australia to make sure that they get over the line, yeah. But Singapore will be looking to win with the bonus points, and we'll have to get some net run rate stats, but that could be, if they win with the bonus points, it could push them into second spot, yeah.
Thanks, Wayne. So the South Africans not happy with that wide call from the umpire. Well bowled by Dougie Webster. Marty Henderson just pushing it out to the cover boundary.
Here we go, lads. Here we go, lads. Keep your heads up, eh?
So the rate is 20 off 19. Good length that by
Well done, Doug. Well done, Doug.
Dougie.
Jay, next one. Okay, hold. Come, lads. Come, lads. Jay, never mind, Jay. Never mind.
Bit of a fumble there by James Nelson, third man.
Here we go, Doug. Here we go, Doug.
South Africans keep the motivation going. So we've got the heart rate monitor on Nathan here. It seems to be your heart rate's increasing with as close as we get to the end of this game.
Yes. And that's a great shot by Marty.
Marty Henderson, fantastic shot there over long on.
Lads, there we go, lads. Still a lot, eh?
He's gonna enjoy that.
Positive cricket there by the Aussies.
Yeah, he sort of ball was in his arc. Good cricket, just knocks it down to long on for a single. Keeps him on strike.
Good over for the Aussies there.
It relieved quite a lot of pressure there. So I can see your heart rate's coming down now.
Yes.
Still lots of chat in the field from the South Africans, believing until the end that they can get over the line. So the required rate is 10 or 15.
Great shot there by Marty.
It's Sam Lang back on strike. Oh,
That's a great shot.
Fantastic shot. Someone going to catch that behind me. Someone going to catch it. Oh wait, I just dropped it behind the commentary box. I'd back him 9 times out of 10 to take that catch. Great shot there by Sam Lang. Fantastic shot there.
That eases the pressure now off the Aussie boys.
Big time.
Less than run a ball now.
Oh. That's it. Sam Lang with another boundary sees Australia home. Yeah. Well done to Australia. Fantastic win that. stay with us. We're going to be going over to the USA Singapore game. So that ends the South African dream. That they've had both teams shaking hands. They're great mates off the field. They spent a lot of time socially this week. You can see that what it means to the Australians. They look very happy. Shaking hands with the umpires, who are done a fantastic job this week. Marty Henderson getting a big hug from everyone. One of the most well-liked and the most well-liked guys on the LMS circuit. Really good knock from him. Had a calm head in the situation, in the run chase, in a big game. So, see how much that means to him. He's fired up. In any Australian South African game is always means a lot to both teams.